Hello and thank you for joining us on The World Now. Leaders of the world's 7 richest nations are gathering in Italy for the G7 summit. Representatives will discuss issues including the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. The G7 summit will also involve leaders from Africa and the Indo-Pacific region and will discuss economic cooperation with developing countries.
The G7 is a group of 7 of the world's largest so-called advanced economies. The summit comes as a number of leaders face electoral challenges back home. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is down in the polls ahead of a general election next month. In a matter of weeks, the party of the French President Emmanuel Macron also faces voters after he called a snap parliamentary election following a resounding loss in the European elections. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and US President Joe Biden similarly face a tough battle the next time voters head to the polls. Top of the agenda is a plan by the G7 to approve the use of frozen Russian assets to raise billions of dollars for Ukraine. The U.S. proposal, which is expected to be approved, could raise $50 billion a year for Ukraine, as well as applying fresh economic pressure to Russia. The money will be provided in the form of a loan secured against the interest on the Russian assets frozen by G7 countries since the start of the war. If passed, the plan would give cash-starved and war-weary Ukraine another vital lifeline. Of Ukraine's priorities while at the G7, President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is after quicker fighter jet pilot training, faster plane deliveries to Ukraine, and more air defense and long-range weapons. He adds that he will be signing security agreements with Japan and the United States after bilateral meetings with the countries. The war in Gaza is also expected to be discussed. All G7 leaders have previously backed external U.S. President Joe Biden's plan to end hostilities that included an immediate ceasefire, the release of hostages, and an increase in aid. Migration is also thought to be on the agenda, particularly people traveling from Africa to Europe. Italy is asking other nations to contribute financially to its Mattei plan, which gives African countries grants and loans to develop their economies. Though the G7 cannot pass laws, however, some of their past decisions have had global effect, including backing a deal in 2021 to tax international companies.